Coming up on today's After News, the real reason WWE had Gunther beat Jey Uso.
Got an update on CM Punk work in Saudi Arabia.
WWE making a mistake by cutting Ron Killings.
And just how did Snitsky kick that baby?
I'm Michael.
And I'm Phil.
And this is the After News. And Phil, how do you like your porridge?
How do I like my porridge? With Nutella in it.
Yeah,
Loads
I get
of
it.
Nutella stirred around, so it's just basically Nutella with a bit of oats.
I'm with you on that one. I'd also take jam, I'd also take honey. I'm a man that enjoys porridge sweet, but for some reason, some people take that porridge with a pinch of salt, which is what I'd advise you to do about this story.
There it is.
Because we're aggregating Jonathan Coachman, I'm sorry. Some news on Gunther obviously defeating Jey Uso and why maybe that has happened. It feels like, according to something that we've got from the Jonathan Coachman podcast, which I'll go into detail of in a second.
So it'll definitely be true.
Yeah, that some fantasy on television may actually be bleeding into reality off screen. This is according to, I'm going to get the pronunciation of this name wrong, so I apologise, Tommy Carlucci, I think it is. His credentials, I guess, are that he's a 30-plus year veteran of the company, and he's the father of a current production official within WWE. So it might be connected, and he's speaking on the Coachman podcast. There has been a lot of noise coming out of that one lately, some more noisier than others, but anyway. Tommy said, quote, I actually like Gunther right now. I think Jay's probably taking a little time off with these injuries, so-called injuries that he's had. So we'll see. Maybe he's going to do that. This might be part of the reason why they've actually been telling the story on screen that Jey Uso has been working too hard as a champion. He's been working harder on being his friends than simply worrying about himself. And then obviously Gunther has targeted those injuries in the match. He's become World Heavyweight Champion. We're not yet aware of the creative plans for Gunther going forward. There are lots of rumours that it could be Goldberg at SummerSlam. You got 2 nights, you need 2 main events, you need 2 stacked cards, that's as good as anything. But yeah, specifically Jey Uso potentially maybe recovering a little bit from injuries or not as present, perhaps going forward in the weeks to come. So say Tommy Carlucci on the Jonathan Coachman podcast anyway. What do you make of this one? They've done, in my opinion, quite a good job of building Jey Uso up to this title loss. Every sort of Jey Uso week has felt like his title's been under threat. Yeah. And sure enough, when he's come face to face with the biggest threat, he has lost. And yeah, the champion schedule being a bit too rigorous for Jey Uso there as a first-time world champion. I think there's been a neat story. Interesting if there's a bit of reality to this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of makes sense if they're folding reality into this and they needed to do it anyway. But I've kind of liked it. It's been fine. We knew it wasn't going to be a massively long title reign or anything like that.
We talked about him losing on Raw, didn't we?
Exactly, yeah. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
It was more about the chase. But yeah, now with sort of Gunther being that sort of perennial thorn in his side kind of thing, and just yet again getting him, it leaves you plenty of room for things to do in the future. And if he does need a bit of time off for niggling injuries and things, it all makes sense. And when he does come back, it'll be a big deal. And then whatever it is that you go on and do with Gunther, there's plenty of things that work. Obviously, the Goldberg thing would be great. I just want Sami Zayn to win King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, and then get the match at SummerSlam, beat Gunther, because he's the only person that could ever beat Gunther in these big matches consistently. Keep that storyline going, and then have Seth Rollins cash in on the exact same night, and destroy everyone's hopes and dreams for Sami Zayn finally becoming the champion and only holding it for 2 minutes.
Give us a yes movement that actually is a story rather than one that they just pretended was a story back in 2014. Yeah. Not against it. Not against it. Because that wouldn't mean that Sami Zayn would have to win another big match in Saudi Arabia to get back to WrestleMania. And wouldn't you look where the Royal Rumble is?
There you go.
And speaking of big events in Saudi Arabia.
Segues for days.
Yeah.
So yeah, CM Punk has gone back on everything he said for the last, 10 years.
He's done what?
He wouldn't do such a thing. Well, obviously he's going to be working in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
According to what we saw on Raw, obviously it's not confirmed yet. So
they've put the graphic up now.
Say no. Oh, they put the graphic
up.
Well,
it's out there, yeah.
But Meltzer still thinks he's got time to turn his back on it. And so, if Meltzer says it, it's also definitely true. Meltzer has been talking about it being...
Gonna get in trouble.
Gonna get in trouble.
Gonna get in bother.
He's been talking about that it's been in the works for a while now.
Yeah.
But he does still say that there's still time for him to decline it if he wants to. Now, the quote, and I'm going to try and read this because it's Meltzer and he talks like a crazy person. He says that he could not go if he really wanted to not go. He was going months ago. He'd already asked about Oh God, I've already lost it. He'd already asked WWE, I'm going to paraphrase it because it's much easier, about when a couple of months ago they announced the show, but then CM Punk was taken out of the original promo package. Meltzer asked WWE if this means he's not going to be on the show, and they said no, he's going. So it's been known that he's going for months, and sort of probably all along. Meltzer doesn't know if he ever voiced any issue with going at any point since he signed, but it definitely felt like he at least had last year because there was a big conspicuous absence of CM Punk on WWE TV, specifically right over the jump of the Saudi Arabia show.
That's right, he was selling the Hell in a Cell injuries, wasn't he?
Yeah. So you got to assume that was kind of part of it. But like for the last few months, it's been known that he is going. Basically, is what this boils down to. And then Meltzer simply stated about sort of his reasoning and things like that. That times change. Everyone goes to Saudi Arabia for the money, and that he is a big enough star that if he didn't want to go, he would be able to say that and not really get punished in any meaningful way.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would welcome anyone to go and listen to quite a long-form chat we had about this on the Raw Review podcast yesterday, wherever you get your podcast, and on the YouTube channel. It certainly is one of those hot-button issues that lends itself to longer discourse than we can give it on one of these news videos. And I know you will have your thoughts, and let us know in the comments below, but be nice to each other. It's a very contentious one. I think there's a few things quickly here. The reality check was CM Punk was going to be doing this the day he re-signed for WWE. That was when the decision was made. Let us not pretend that upon signing for WWE, he didn't know that this was not just a possibility, but an almost certain reality. Not least if he wanted to occupy one of the top spots, which he has done pretty much since he's been back in the fold. It's interesting that Meltzer notes that wrestlers do still have the opportunity to say no. CM Punk only recently on an Instagram live, somebody asked, why'd you hate Saudi Arabia? And he was coy as usual. He was like, I don't hate Saudi Arabia. I've never been to Saudi Arabia. But the Miz tweet hung heavy in the titty, as it should. People put things out there, and ultimately the internet never ever forgets. And in this case, maybe nor should it as well. It's the success of sports washing that the longer these things happen and we are palpable and accountable in our own ways, I invite anybody to go back and look at our outrage in 2018 and look at the outrage getting diluted year on year on year on year on year, because that's how these projects are successful. It's insidious, it's the way it goes. It is not anything against the people of Saudi Arabia that attend these events and have a really great time. And WWE have even acknowledged that it's important that these become canonised, because when they felt like ludicrous special events with The Undertaker and Kane and that, it was like, this is bollocks, this is meaningless, this is almost separate from the real world. Now, as evidenced by John Cena versus CM Punk, it's as integral as any other PLE. They've understood the importance of weaving it into the storylines, the King and the Queen, the Ring and the like.
And as tiny as the progress is, they've still made progress with it. Like, was it 3 women's matches on the last year?
They're kind of chasing parity with that, and it's sports washing works.
Yeah. But there is still the chance of CM Punk taking his gigantic big fat check and donating it to some LGBTQ charity or something like that.
There's precedent for that.
Punk, if you're listening, maybe you should just do that.
Was it Mustafa Ali, I think, donated his specific take from the car that he worked, something like that. So,
if you have to do it for your work, I understand, you want to be in that position, do it, but then there's other things you can do to get rid of your own conscience, I guess. Or not get rid of it, but settle it.
We will see how all of this plays out in the weeks. And indeed, if CM Punk wins the WWE title in Saudi Arabia, of all places. Wouldn't that be a thing?
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Anyway, we'll see. Somebody else, I guess, that maybe CM Punk is heating John Cena up for is Ron Killings. I never thought I would say that way around. I'm pretty sure before the pipe bomb it was switched. However, John Cena and Ron Killings may be back on the table. John Cena versus R-Truth may be back on the table. Obviously, having had their Saturday Night's Main Event match, we thought the feud was done. And indeed, as of 9 days ago, we thought R-Truth was in WWE 2. Everything can change in a week, and it has done for Ron Killings. And to kind of I guess, potentially put a rubber stamp and bottom line this one once and for all, because we've kind of heard everything now, and Triple H made a mess of it in the press conference, and it was obviously never a work and all this kind of stuff. Everyone has been pretty straight and forthright with it. And PW Insider came through with kind of a last little bit of insight on some of the backstage wranglings and everything about Ron Killings' return to WWE. He's obviously gone on Raw last night and announced his new name, he's cut his hair, he's kind of made a big statement about how the character is going to change moving forward and all that. And the report just said, and put it bluntly, quote, WWE made a mistake. They cut someone based on math. Yes, it did feel like a spreadsheet cell getting deleted, didn't it?
Yep.
And realised that they had upset not just the audience, but more importantly, the entire realm of their locker room, many of whom privately made their feelings known, just as some did publicly. the company course-corrected. Quote, "This doesn't mean every talent will get a reprieve when WWE cuts them, but Truth as a performer and a locker room stalwart was a unique case, and the ripple effect of that unique case ended with a positive." Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that, isn't it? Like, not every talent is created equal, nor is every release, and it's just the same as how some releases can result in an amazing thing happening within WWE, like Ron Killings, or an amazing thing happening without of WWE, like a Matt Cardona. You know, like, there is no one wrestling career the same. It's a business that doesn't look after its talent enough for one wrestling career to be the same. Everyone's got to forge their own unique path, for better and worse.
Yeah.
And in this case, Killings has absolutely played a blinder. Like, I think the wrestling industry at large, if they didn't already have like a love for his ability to portray this R-Truth character for all these years, now just has a love of how, like, Ron's taken on the man and won.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it is very much a testament to how voices can actually change things, like in wrestling. It's been a while since we've seen like a fan...
Especially talent
backlash
voices.
kind of thing. Talent voices as well, which is like... That doesn't happen very often.
I hope people
like
are sat in the locker room feeling like they've got a bit more confidence to know their value and know their worth.
More often or something like that. But like all those, like the fans taking over Raw hasn't happened in a long time.
No.
It's like the likes of CM Punk, obviously, for years and years and years, people were doing it. Didn't change anything there, though.
It was Cody, really, wasn't it? That was the last one. The We Want Cody was the last real one, I would
Cody,
say.
Daniel Bryan, obviously. Yes Movement things come to mind. But it's been a while since that has taken over a show and actually impacted something like positively and made a difference. And this definitely has. And it's kind of exciting to see what they do with Ron Killings now, especially when you look at the sort of character change and what he's going to be doing going forwards based on that promo on Raw, because you've been ingrained with R-Truth for so goddamn long now.
Yeah.
Like, he's been going forever, this guy. And now to finally get sort of one, maybe last run, who knows, of like a bit more serious character back to the sort of
Ron the Truth Killings almost, isn't it?
Yeah, and see what they actually do with that now when R-Truth is so ingrained. It's going to be really interesting to see. But it's like, all power to R-Truth. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, he's like 54 or something at this point, which is nuts in itself.
The clock is winding down.
Yeah, when you consider that he started in like 96 or something stupid. Like, he's...
Unbelievable run.
It's incredible, his run, really. So yeah, it's just good stuff and it's exciting.
It is funny to me that, like, obviously whoever's feeding this information internally is willing to say the words WWE made a mistake.
Yeah.
And Triple H wasn't in a press conference on Saturday. That's great. Yeah, you gotta love that.
You gotta love that. But finally, a source that we can trust, Snitsky, coming straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
You might remember him from such wrestling storylines as debuting on Raw in a no DQ match against Kane, in a match that ended up with Lita having a miscarriage from her baby that she had with Kane, that Kane definitely wasn't consensual.
It wasn't a good time.
It was a weird time in wrestling.
Bad time.
And then because of that, Snitsky was the one that went heel.
Yeah.
Because Kane's obviously the good guy in that situation.
Yeah. And it wasn't Snitsky's fault.
Yeah, and it wasn't Snitsky's fault.
Yes.
And that's how you debut on Raw.
The situation needed levity, didn't it, Phil? And how did they land on that levity? In a way that we fondly remember rather than dread ever thinking about.
Yeah. But it ended up with him kicking a baby into the crowd.
Kick the baby.
It's like, you don't have a baby because you had a miscarriage from non-consensual.
Yeah. It was only a 6-year-old South Park
and
guy.
Kicked it in the thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like on point, right? Like beyond that, the map bit when they're talking about them in South Park going head to head with all the merch. And this is like, 10 years later.
What's your favourite line from Beyond the Map, Phil?
This is the dance. Believe me. But yeah, he was talking to Chris Van Vliet about his time in WWE, obviously, and this obviously came up, talking about how he never expected this to happen in his career, obviously. He was only 7 years in at this point. He'd been in developmental for a year, and then all of a sudden he's getting thrust onto WWE TV and accidentally becoming one of the biggest heels in the company. But the big secret, basically, behind just how far he kicked that goddamn baby is that he was a punter in high school, and so he was prepared, and basically he wanted to kick that baby as high as the Titantron. So he was going out there to kick that goddamn baby as far as humanly possible. And you know what a good job he made of kicking this baby? He made such a good job of kicking this baby that Vince McMahon gave him a hug afterwards.
Weird guy. Vince McMahon, not Gene Snitsky, he seems like a lovely fella. Like there was a note that Snitsky added where he was saying, a guy caught it You know, they say, I think it got pinged back at him or something, but like somebody else took the baby away that night, the doll, obviously.
Yeah, because there's like footage of the guy like being a bit disgusted by the bit and throwing it back.
Yeah, that feels like a job for the WWE Vault of the Archivist to find where that baby is.
Where is Snitsky's baby?
Dreadful show a couple of years ago that was like, I forget what it was called, but it was like Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and Top Dollar would find like a collector's valuable item and try and shake them down to take it. It wasn't like, we'll give you $50, would you want it for the Hall of Fame? Give us it. And it was like a really weird format. These collectors love it, they care deeply about it.
Yeah.
Grand. Give us it. Like, it was just no respect for their collections whatsoever. Somewhere, the Snitsky baby is up there. And
on someone's mantelpiece,
yeah, just waiting to be placed in one of those glass cases at a WrestleMania Access type thing. You know? Aye.
With Snitsky's boot next to it, so you can like, scale.
They should do it. You know, like this year, you could hit like a Logan Paul head with a chair.
Yeah, kick Snitsky's baby.
Kick Snitsky's baby. Like, hey, that's a free one for you, WWE. Do you know what? The thing is, Phil, we've covered that storyline and several gross other ones in like our vast collection of archives of videos here at WhatCulture.com. But like, once I've watched this video, I'd just probably like slam my laptop lid. I wouldn't know what to do on that video. What would you do?
Continue on your YouTube journey.
What?
Right here.
Go away, Coyote.
Go away, Coyote.
For the rest of the day.